Welcome to Review Central's Civil Service Exam Reviewer number 5, featuring questions on general information. This reviewer is intended for those who are eyeing, or are set to take, the Philippine Civil Service Exam, also known as the Career Service Eligibility Exam. The exam's general information subtest is for both professional and sub-professional level eligibility. It typically includes questions on the Philippine Constitution, Code of Conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees, peace and human rights issues and concepts, environment management and protection, and any other topic that the Civil Service Commission deems relevant to government officials and personnel, including current and recent world issues and events. There are 30 carefully curated questions featured on this reviewer. All questions are modeled on actual questions that appeared on previous civil service exams. By the way, please note that this video reviewer is best watched with your device's audio turned on. Before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to Review Central and click or press the bell button to make sure you get notified whenever we post a new reviewer or other review materials on this channel. Now let's begin.
Question number 1. It is a process by which thermal radiation from the Earth's surface is absorbed by atmospheric greenhouse gases and is re-radiated in all directions. A. Ozone layer. B. Solar radiation. C. Global warming. D. Greenhouse effect. The correct answer is D. Greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect occurs when greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere cause some of the heat radiated from the Earth's surface to build up at the Earth's surface. This process happens because the Sun emits shortwave radiation that passes through greenhouse gases, but the Earth emits longwave radiation that is partly absorbed by greenhouse gases. That difference reduces the rate at which the Earth can cool off in response to being warmed by the Sun. Adding to greenhouse gases further reduces the rate the Earth emits radiation to space, raising its average surface temperature. Question number 2. It is the electoral process by which an initiative on the Constitution is either approved or rejected by the people. A. Petition. B. Initiative. C. Plebiscite. D. Referendum. The correct answer is C. Plebiscite. A plebiscite is an election duly called for the people directly affected to either approve or reject a law or part thereof enacted by the Congress or approve or reject the resolutions or ordinance enacted by the local legislative unit. Question number 3. Which of the following is classified as being a head of the family for income tax purposes?
A. A married individual with dependents.
B. An unmarried individual with dependents.
C. A married individual without dependents.
D. An unmarried individual without dependents. The correct answer is B. An unmarried individual with dependents. Section 23B of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1939, as last updated by PD 69 in 1972, defines head of family for income tax purposes. The term head of family includes an unmarried man or woman with one or both parents, or one or more brothers or sisters, or one or more legitimate, recognized natural, or adopted children living with and dependent upon him or her for their chief support where such brothers, sisters, or children are not more than 21 years of age, unmarried, and not gainfully employed, or when such children are incapable of self-support because mentally or physically defective. Question number 4. The Congress, by a vote of blank, of both houses in joint session assembled and voting separately, shall have the sole power to declare a state of war. A. Minority. B. 1/2. C. 2/3. D. 3/4. The correct answer is C. 2/3. As provided for in Article 6, Legislative Department, of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, under Section 23 Paragraph 1. The Congress, by a vote of 2/3 of both houses in joint session assembled, voting separately, shall have the sole power to declare the existence of a state of war. Question number 5. The Supreme Court shall be composed of a Chief Justice and how many Associate Justices? A. 12. B. 14. C. 16. D. 24. The correct answer is B, 14. Pursuant to the provisions of the 1987 Constitution, the Supreme Court is composed of a Chief Justice and 14 Associate Justices who serve until the age of 70. The court may sit on bank or in one of its 3 divisions composed of 5 members each. Question number 6. PAGASA stands for A. Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Association. B. Philippine Atmospheric Geographical and Astronomical Services Administration. C. Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration. D. Philippine Atmospheric Geological and Astronomical Services Association. The correct answer is C. Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, abbreviated as PAGASA, which means hope as in the Tagalog word PAGASA, is the National Meteorological and Hydrological Services Agency of the Philippines mandated to provide protection against natural calamities and to ensure the safety, well-being and economic security of all the people, and for the promotion of national progress by undertaking scientific and technological services in meteorology, hydrology, climatology, astronomy and other geophysical sciences. Created on December 8, 1972, by reorganizing the Weather Bureau, PAGASA now serves as one of the Scientific and Technological Services Institutes of the Department of Science and Technology.
Question number 7. What is the third article of the 1987 Philippine Constitution? A. National territory. B. Bill of Rights. C. Citizenship. D. Suffrage. The correct answer is B. Bill of Rights. A Bill of Rights, sometimes called a Declaration of Rights or a Charter of Rights, is a list of the most important rights to the citizens of a country. The purpose is to protect those rights against infringement from public officials and private citizens. In the Philippines, the Bill of Rights is enshrined in Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution. Question number 8. Monoculture cropping or planting a single crop in a large area is not advisable because it blank. A. Requires more water. B. Requires more fertilizer. C. Lowers the water table. D. Promotes infestation. The correct answer is D. Promotes infestation. Raising a single crop, also known as monoculture cropping or monoculture farming, has several drawbacks, the most significant of which is that it increases the risk of disease and pest outbreaks. This is because monocultures lack other plant and animal species that limit the spread of disease and control pests through predation. Aside from promoting infestation, monoculture cropping also 1. Destroys soil nutrients. 2. Results in the use of harmful chemicals. 3. Pollutes groundwater supplies. 4. Adversely affects and alters the natural ecosystem. 5. Destroys the overall soil's degradation and erosion. 6. Requires lots of water to irrigate. And 7. Uses a lot of fossil fuel energy. Question number 9. Who was the president of the 1987 Constitutional Commission? A. Jose D. Calderon. B. Ambrosio B. Padilla. C. Napoleon G. Rama. D. Cecilia Muñoz Palma. The correct answer is D. Cecilia Muñoz Palma. The commission was composed of 48 members, 42 men and 6 women. The first session of the commission was held on June 2, 1986. Cecilia Muñoz Palma was elected president of CONCOM. On the 2nd of February 1987, the 1987 Constitution was ratified. Here's a complete list of the officers and members of the Constitution Commission that drafted and ratified the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Question number 10. What form of government does the Philippines adopt? A. Federalism. B. Democratic and federal. C. Democratic and republican. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. Democratic and republican. The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. This is enshrined in Article 2, Declaration of Principles and State Policies, of the 1987 Constitution. In terms of its form of government, the Philippines is a republic with a presidential form of government wherein power is equally divided among its three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. One basic corollary in a presidential system of government is the principle of separation of powers, wherein legislation belongs to Congress, execution to the executive, and settlement of legal controversies to the judiciary. Question number 11. USB is an industry standard that connects computers and electronic devices like keyboards, digicams, portable media devices, disk drivers, smartphones, and network adapters to any computer. USB stands for A. Unit Serie Box. B. Unit Serie Bolt. C. Universal Serial Bin. D. Universal Serial Bus. The correct answer is D. Universal Serial Bus. Short for Universal Serial Bus, USB is a plug-and-play interface that allows a computer to communicate with peripheral and other devices. USB-connected devices cover a broad range, anything from keyboards and mice to music players and flash drives. USB may also send power to certain devices, such as powering smartphones and tablets and charging their batteries. The first commercial release of the Universal Serial Bus, version 1.0, was in January 1996. This industry standard was then quickly adopted by Intel, Compaq, Microsoft, and other companies. The current version of USB, as of September 2022, is USB 4 2.0. Question number 12. Which of the following is the major cause of coral reef destruction? A. Sewage pollution. B. Dynamite fishing. C. Oil spill. D. Siltation. The correct answer is B. From among the answer choices, dynamite fishing is the most significant cause of coral reef destruction, particularly in the Philippines. In general, dynamite fishing falls under environmentally destructive fishing practices, which include cyanide fishing. These destructive practices are the largest contributors to reef degradation. Although techniques such as blast fishing and poison fishing are banned, enforcement is lacking.
Question number 13. What do you call the introductory part of the Constitution? A. Preface. B. Synopsis. C. Executive summary. D. Preamble. The correct answer is D. The introductory part of the 1987 Philippine Constitution is called the Preamble. Here's the full and verbatim text of the Preamble of the 1987 Constitution.
We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God, in order to build a just and humane society, and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity, the blessings of independence and democracy under the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace, do ordain and promulgate this Constitution.
Question number 14. When is the deadline for filing income tax returns for every taxable year? A. March 15th. B. March 31st. C. April 15th. D. April 30th. The correct answer is C. April 15th. In general, the deadline of filing and payment of annual income tax return is every April 15th. However, if and when April 15th falls on a non-working day, such as a Saturday or Sunday, the deadline may be moved to the next working day. Question number 15. Natural-born citizens are those who are citizens of the Philippines, blank. A. By right. B. Through presidential declaration. C. From birth. D. By choice. The correct answer is C. From birth. Natural-born citizens mean those who are citizens of the Philippines from birth without having to perform any act to acquire or perfect their Philippine citizenship. This clear-cut definition can be found in Article 4, Citizenship, Section 2, of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Question number 16. Which of the following statements is true about taxes? A. It is a voluntary payment. B. It is an enforced contribution. C. It is based on one's desire to pay. D. It is payable both in cash and in kind. The correct answer is B. It is an enforced contribution. Taxes are enforced proportional contributions from persons and properties levied by the lawmaking body of the government by virtue of its sovereignty for the support of the government and public need. Following are the universal elements of a tax. 1. Enforced contribution. 2. Generally payable in money. 3. Proportional in character. 4. Levied on persons, properties, or the exercise of a right or privilege. 5. Levied by the state which has jurisdiction over the subject or object of taxation. 6. Levied by the lawmaking body of the state. 7. Levied for public purpose. Question number 17. A blank is a written instrument containing the proposition and the required number of signatories and shall be in a form determined by and submitted to the Commission on Elections. A. Bill. B. Law. C. Petition. D. Proposition. The correct answer is C. Petition. Proposition is the proposed amendments to the Constitution. Petition is the written instrument containing the proposition and the required number of signatories in a form determined by and submitted to the Commission on Elections. Plebiscite is the electoral process by which the proposition to amend the Constitution shall be approved or rejected by the people. Question number 18. Which of the following is a renewable source of energy? A. Geothermal energy. B. Solar energy. C. Wind energy. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the given answer choices are examples of renewable sources of energy. Renewable energy is energy derived from natural sources that are replenished at a higher rate than they are consumed. Sunlight and wind, for example, are such sources that are constantly being replenished. Renewable energy sources are plentiful and all around us. On the other hand, fossil fuels including coal, oil, and gas, are non-renewable resources that take hundreds of millions of years to form. Fossil fuels, when burned to produce energy, cause harmful greenhouse gas emissions, such as carbon dioxide. Generating renewable energy creates far lower emissions than burning fossil fuels. Transitioning from fossil fuels, which currently account for the lion's share of emissions, to renewable energy is key to addressing the climate crisis. Renewables are now cheaper in most countries, and generate 3 times more jobs than fossil fuels. Here are just a few common sources of renewable energy.
Question number 19. It is the power of the electorate to approve or reject legislation through an election called for the purpose. A. Referendum. B. Plebiscite. C. Initiative. D. Petition. The correct answer is A. Referendum. Under the Local Government Code, the sovereign power of the people is manifested in a referendum where the people can either approve or reject the law enacted by Congress, or the resolution or ordinances enacted by the local legislative unit in a plebiscite duly called for. Question number 20. PHIVOLC stands for A. Philippine Institute of Volcano and Seismic System. B. Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. C. Philippine Institute of Volcanic and Seismic Services. D. Philippine Institute of Volcanic and Seismology Services. The correct answer is B. Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS, is a Philippine national institution dedicated to provide information on the activities of volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis, as well as other specialized information and services primarily for the protection of life and property and in support of economic, productivity, and sustainable development. It is one of the service agencies of the Department of Science and Technology. PHIVOLCS monitors volcano, earthquake, and tsunami activity, and issues warnings as necessary. It is mandated to mitigate disasters that may arise from such volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, and other related geotectonic phenomena. Question number 21. What tax is imposed on one's right to transmit property at death, and is measured by the value of the property? A. Excise tax. B. Deceased tax. C. Donor's tax. D. State tax. The correct answer is D. Estate tax. According to the Philippine Bureau of Internal Revenue, estate tax is a tax on the dead person's right to transmit his or her estate to his or her rightful heirs and beneficiaries at the time of death, and on some transfers performed by law is equal to testamentary disposition. It is not a property tax. Question number 22. In Section 2 of the Declaration of Principles, the Philippines renounces blank as an instrument of national policy. A. War. B. Lawlessness. C. Communism. D. Extraterritoriality. The answer is A. War. Article 2, Declaration of Principles and State Policies, Section 2, of the 1987 Philippine Constitution states thus: the Philippines renounces war as an instrument of national policy, adopts the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land, and adheres to the policy of peace, equality, justice, freedom, cooperation, and amity with all nations. Question number 23. Chlorofluorocarbons are popular as propellants and solvents because they are: A. Biodegradable. B. Soluble. C. Stable. D. Cheap. The correct answer is C. Chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs are primarily popular as propellants and solvents because they are stable. As an added bonus, they are generally inexpensive, which makes them doubly attractive commercially. However, their stable characteristic which makes them popular is disastrous for CFCs that find their way up into the atmosphere. Gaseous CFCs can deplete the ozone layer when they slowly rise into the stratosphere, are broken down by strong ultraviolet radiation, release chlorine atoms, and then react with ozone molecules. As we are already aware of, the ozone layer in the stratosphere absorbs a portion of the radiation from the sun, preventing it from reaching the planet's surface. Most importantly, it absorbs the portion of UV light called UVB. UVB has been linked to many harmful effects, including skin cancers, cataracts, and harm to some crops and marine life. Question number 24. The Senate shall be composed of how many senators elected at large by voters of the Philippines? A. 24. B. 23. C. 22. D. 21. The correct answer is A. 24. Article 6, Section 2 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution provides that the Senate shall be composed of 24 senators who shall be elected at large by the qualified voters of the Philippines, as may be provided by law. Since 1995, a dozen senators are elected for a 6-year term every 3 years. The 12 newly elected senators are to replace the outgoing 12 members of the Senate.
Question number 25. The members of the House of Representatives shall be elected for a term of A. 6 years. B. 5 years. C. 4 years. D. 3 years. The correct answer is D. 3 years. As mandated by Article 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, members of the House of Representatives are officially called representatives and sometimes informally called congressmen or congresswomen. They are elected to a 3-year term by voters in their respective legislative districts. A representative can serve for not more than 3 consecutive terms. There are 243 legislative districts in the country. Question number 26. What tax is paid by individuals who derive compensation income? A. Excise tax. B. Income tax. C. Real estate tax. D. Value-added tax. The correct answer is B. Income tax. As defined by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, income tax is a tax on all yearly profits arising from property, profession, trades or offices, or as a tax on a person's income, emoluments, profits and the like. Question number 27. The national language of the Philippines is A. Filipino. B. Tagalog. C. Filipino. D. English and Filipino. The correct answer is C. Filipino. As mandated in Article 14 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the national language of the Philippines is Filipino. As it evolves, it shall be further developed and enriched on the basis of existing Philippine and other languages. Section 6. Take note, however, that for purposes of communication and instruction, the official languages of the Philippines are Filipino and, until otherwise provided by law, English. The regional languages are the auxiliary official languages in the regions and shall serve as auxiliary media of instruction therein. Section 7. Question number 28. Which of the following is a constitutional commission? A. Philippine Commission on Good Government. B. Commission on Natural Resources. C. Commission of Human Rights. D. Civil Service Commission. The correct answer is D. Civil Service Commission. There are 3, and only 3, constitutional commissions as mandated by the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 9, Section 1. These are the Civil Service Commission, the Commission on Elections, and the Commission on Audit. From among the answered choices, only the Civil Service Commission is a constitutional commission. Question number 29. What branch of government has the sole right to initiate all cases of impeachment? A. Senate. B. Judiciary. C. Commission on Election. D. House of Representatives. The correct answer is D. House of Representatives. Article 11, Accountability of Public Officers, Section 2, of the 1987 Philippine Constitution states that the President, the Vice President, the members of the Supreme Court, the members of the Constitutional Commissions, and the Ombudsman may be removed from office, on impeachment for, and conviction of, culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, other high crimes, or betrayal of public trust. All other public officers and employees may be removed from office as provided by law, but not by impeachment. And then Section 3 Paragraph 1 declares that the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. Question number 30. The Protector of the People and State. A. Philippine Army. B. Philippine National Police. C. Armed Forces of the Philippines. D. Department of National Defense. The correct answer is C. Armed Forces of the Philippines. Article 2 Section 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution states thus: civilian authority is, at all times, supreme over the military. The Armed Forces of the Philippines is the protector of the people and the state. Its goal is to secure the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of the national territory. Meanwhile, Article 7, Section 1, of the same 1987 Constitution vests executive power on the President of the Philippines, in which it states that the President is the head of state and head of government, and functions as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
You have just completed Civil Service Exam Reviewer number 5, featuring questions on general information. If you wish to watch more Civil Service Exam Reviewers on general information, check out our Civil Service Exam Reviewer for General Information playlist. Check out also our other Civil Service Exam Reviewer playlists for other reviewer topics. If you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to subscribe to Review Central and click or press the bell button to make sure you get notified whenever we post a new reviewer or other review materials on this channel. Please like if you find this video useful, and feel free to share it to anyone who may also benefit from it. We wish you all the best on your forthcoming civil service exam, and for a lifelong and fulfilling career in government service. Mabuhay!